Okay, start out with a flag salute. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Marion County Land Bank Board Meeting, April 7th, 2025. Start out with the administrative business, which include the minutes of January 6th. Everyone had a chance to look at those minutes. Any additions or corrections?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Jonah to approve.
Second that.
Second by Dave. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next thing would be review and discussion of any new requests.
We have not received any new requests.
I guess we still have the one parcel in inventory.
Yes, correct.
Is there any way that we'll be able to do something with that in the future? Is that gonna take more research?
They've been working on what I've overheard.
It will take a little bit more. The ideal situation would be to potentially offer it to an adjoining property, because it should go with an adjoining property.
You guys know we're
However,
talking about the 6-foot strip at the Marion County Lake. That's our one parcel that we have right now.
right, there's some issues with the adjoining
There's a lot
parcel.
of legalities that goes with that. How that got chopped up over the years or left off of a legal or whatever.
I think there was a split, and then somebody built a property and they'd never combined the parcels, and then they continued to, over time, property switched hands several times, and then eventually they didn't pay the taxes on the strip, and so we received it through a tax sale. But it's got part of a building on it, I do believe, and so it needs to go with a particular property, which is also potentially currently has some if I remember right, that parcel that it should go with has some environmental concerns or has a dilapidated structure on it, and so it's not a
Clean cut.
right. We were trying to see if there's a way for the property to be, for the land bank to potentially get the other property to where they could be joined together as they need to be, and then conveyed as an entire parcel. So that's the
If there are
situation.
environmental concerns on other property, those be cleaned up before we got it.
Right.
Not likely.
Not likely.
Likely we would get it and have to deal with it like we did down in Peabody. Have to clean them up.
It shouldn't be. I wouldn't think that it would be. Yeah, I haven't actually been out there personally, so I don't want to speak to the specifics of the.
Yeah, we usually get stuck with the bill, but the benefit is it goes out to somebody that will pay taxes. Get it back on the right end of the scope.
Any new requests? I meant to ask at the last meeting, is the road and bridge using that 10 acres out there southwest of town?
I think that at some point they were using it. Yes.
Okay. I was just wondering, several years back, we'd even talked about selling it, but if they
I
have a
can double
use-
check on it.
if they have a use for it, there's 10 acres right on the north side of what they used to call Marion County Poor Farm.
I know at one time they were kind of clearing off some of that, but I don't know if they're actively using it, so I can find out.
But there's 10 acres out there that's worth quite a bit.
Does the land bank also have that parcel down at Peabody?
We got that all taken care of.
Okay.
That is, has not been transferred to the land bank, but if the county is gonna build on it for municipal purposes, that's not what the land bank is for.
Okay.
So potentially that would not go into the land bank unless we wanna market it somehow.
Any other discussion items?
What about the building across the street here that used to be planning and zoning and now it's empty? What are the county's plans for that?
It's going to work as a staging for digitizing documents. But it hasn't.
Do we have anything in there right now? Is it storage? Or?
There's some items being stored in there right now. But that is something that the board needs to decide what the future plan is for that building, so.
If they actually did use that for that type of area, it might be worth to hold on to for a while. I don't know. Okay, off agenda items, any? If not, we'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh man, I thought I was ready. Hold
Gee, I thought that speaker was back behind me.
on. Last time I had to use it. Alright, we live? Yep. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, April 7th, 2025, 12:30. Start off with a public forum. Anybody in the room? Anybody online? Seeing, hearing none. Close public forum and move forward with the agenda approval. Anything to add to the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I'll need an executive for
Contract negotiation.
if we want to have some time, 15 minutes.
All right, any others? Sure, I don't see anything. Need to have a discussion about an extension on the moratorium while we're ironing out the back and forth as far as what we need from planning and zoning. Okay.
do you want that on the next agenda?
Well, I suppose I could do that. Oh, no, I think the other one's still holding, so.
The other one expired?
You did it for a year, I believe.
April, May, June,
September.
September, I believe.
Oh,
Long time.
Yeah, I just need to, as long as it took for the other parts to come through, I just need to make sure that it's all, got plenty of time and we're not forcing it through, messing stuff up.
I'm in favor of extending it.
We'll put it on next week's agenda. Is that all right? Okay. That also allows Sharon to be here.
If Marcy's here, do we discuss the fair building? You will be.
I think Brad has something lined up for that. All right, administrative business.
All right, we have the minutes of March 31st.
Everybody had a chance to read the minutes. Any concerns, corrections?
Motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
I'll second it.
Got a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0. Kink in my neck.
Okay, next we have change orders.
These all in the packet.
Yes. Did you guys like those in your packet or?
Yes.
Have them in the packet?
I don't have to review it. I mean, I reviewed it at my own time. I don't feel pressured. I understand when you have a stack of
I do separate, like with the packet, a separate attachment. Maybe I don't know.
I think they're not digital to begin with, are they?
Oh.
There's no way to transfer that.
No.
We've not ever asked that question before.
Well, it doesn't hurt to keep checking in,
Well, sometimes things change.
right?
Okay, we have early checks in the amount of $132,232. Oh geez.
Christine,
Okay, $132,265.54.
anybody got any questions on the warrants?
Yeah.
Payroll board too, for the
Okay,
payroll.
there is a payroll. Okay, I'll leave it.
Okay,
There is a additional payroll in that number as well for $1,369.89.
and that's due to some miscommunication within a department and someone's hours not being all in there for payday. I can get that one if you want to. Yeah.
Anything else?
Tires. We bought all of our tires locally. Unless it's some kind of specialty. Those we bought tires from iStone Automotive. I don't know where iStone
That's in Peabody.
that is.
Yeah.
Okay, that answers the question.
Yeah, that's Colton Glenn, the
Okay.
fire chief down there.
I've
in
just never
Peabody.
heard of it, so I thought maybe it's
He bought
something.
the old Heckendorn business,
Hmm.
and he started an automotive repair business in there.
Good. Okay, that answered my question.
That's what that is. The rescue equipment, the old pieces of equipment, have they been, I know there was talk of getting them refurbished and
I think Tina might have an update on that.
Send them in someplace, I think.
I didn't think they were gonna trade them in. I thought they were gonna.
Hand them down to other departments, districts.
Just wondered what the status of that is.
Any others? See that idea tag, whatever it is.
No, the questions, I guess I'll make a motion to approve. I mean, I don't need an answer before we approve these and move on.
Okay.
I'd just like to know, make sure that we don't drop the ball on that and let that stuff sit around for 6 months.
Yeah, cause Matt Hine is in charge now, but
Years past, they got it out and back real quick.
yeah.
But
So it is good
somebody's
double
wanting
check. It's good double check, cause the changing of the stuff like that. So, make a motion to approve, early checks at $132,000.
Clark did. And you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, second,
I'll second.
second. Catch that, Ashley?
Yes, I did.
All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0.
Okay, I didn't find a payroll board, so Kathy's just gonna bring in the report to sign for now. Yeah, because Jerry's gone.
And Clark had a question on the rescue equipment.
Okay.
Fire chiefs are getting the stuff refurbished, the old stuff refurbished, and where they're at on that.
I haven't heard on that recently.
I just don't want it to fall through the cracks and get stuck in the back closet somewhere and forgot about for 6 months.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Where do you? I don't have a drawer. Do you have a paper clip? Okay, since I don't have the actual board, I'll probably just have you put your signature or initials on here for now, for the payroll. Choose any old spot you want to. We may have it by the end of the meeting if Jerry comes back from lunch.
Sorry, yes.
Matt said he'll get with you to come in for an update.
And that is all I have.
You sign that one too, Brad?
Yes.
You usually sign the payroll? You finished? Okay. So I do have a couple things. Krista's here to give an update on measles situation, so if you wanna go ahead and just come up and do that.
We're getting quite a few questions at the health department regarding measles recently due to the outbreak in Kansas. And so I thought I would come here today and answer a few questions. If you guys had questions, provide some fact sheets and also provide some facts about Marion County and measles. So KDHE has created a dashboard related to measles because of the outbreak. They're updating it every Wednesday. If you're interested in viewing the dashboard, the address is https://www.kdhe.ks.gov/2314/measles-data. And there are 24 confirmed cases in Kansas. And the cases are confirmed in Grant County, Gray County, Haskell County, Kiowa County, Morton County, Stevens County, and Finney counties. And just some signs and symptoms are high fever. Fever may spike to more than 104 degrees, which is really scary. High fever can cause encephalitis, which is a severe complication of measles, cough, runny nose, red eyes or conjunctivitis, and rash. People often ask about herd immunity, and in order to maintain herd immunity with measles, you have to have 92 to 95% of the population immune, whether they've either contracted the disease previously or they've received immunization or are properly immunized. And just some data regarding Marion County. So starting with the 2021-2022 school year through the 2023-2024 school year, they do kindergarten dashboard vaccine data that the state maintains. In Marion County, our average is 82.53% of kindergartners being immunized properly for measles. We do have MMR vaccine at the health department. It's readily available whether you have private insurance, Medicare, or Medicaid. And feel free to call with questions. That's what we're there for. And I do have some fact sheets that I'll send around.
So the immunization between what was it, 63 and 1963 and 67 may not be of.
Yeah, call up to the health department and we'll ask you some kind of further questions too to determine if you need a vaccine. If you're an adult and you've already received one vaccine, you should be good. And children, it's recommended that they have 2 vaccines depending on their age. And so we would go through that and go through their vaccine history with them. And there are definitely some caveats that we wanted to make sure we talk through with the client.
Heard that one. I thought it was people have their immunizations, so they never come talk to you.
Right.
So if there's a block of time where they have a question, people need to be made aware that they need to be asking questions.
Yes. And just to kind of speak to the seriousness of measles, 1 in 5 people that contract it are hospitalized. And in recent outbreaks in the last couple of years, they've had outbreaks in some other states, and it's 30% of the cases were hospitalized. And 1 to 3 people out of 1,000 people will die that contract it. And predominantly, we're seeing the cases in unvaccinated people. But sometimes people who get the vaccine, if they're immunocompromised, they may have difficulty maintaining the efficacy from the vaccine. Does anyone have any questions? I just thought I would stop by and make sure we discuss it. Get ahead of the messaging.
The 82% you say that's just the ones who got it while they're in kindergarten, not necessarily somebody that may have got it pre-kindergarten.
those were just for those years. So KDHE takes a sampling of kindergarten. They talk to the school nurses at each school district, and they request kindergarten vaccine data. And they get a sampling of that, and that's how they come up with those percentages. So every year they take kindergarten school vaccine data, because by kindergarten age, they should have received 2 MMR vaccines.
Okay, so it's pre-kindergarten, so 2 kids.
Is there any quarantine in place in Texas or New Mexico where all this originated?
There's quarantine going on wherever we're seeing confirmed cases. All the local health departments reach out to the people who have contracted it or their close contacts. They also determine if someone is susceptible. So how we determine if they're susceptible or not is by either proof of that they've had the disease previously or that they are properly immunized. And that's what we do with any kind of disease investigation. We'll reach out to all their close contacts. And it is very, very highly transmissible. So 9 out of 10 people, like if we were in this room and 9 out of 10 people, if you were susceptible and weren't properly immunized or hadn't had the disease previously, would contract it. Thank you. All right, that's it. Thank you.
Give us a report on the open house.
We had a nice open house. We had representation from Kansas Department of Health and Environment. We also had representation from our Kansas Association of Local Health Departments, lots of our local partners and community partners. So that was a good turnout.
Thanks, Krista.
Thank you.
Marcy, do you wanna? No. So on the administrative business, we also have estimates for the fair building doors. And so I'm just gonna send around a little sheet. I don't have one for you. You can share with me though.
Does he want mine?
No, I figured I figured you might need to refer to that or want to have it, so. And I asked Marcy to come in to answer any questions. She had, Dan was getting quotes from different door companies for the actual garage doors that you all might need to install if you decide to go with that building. And so there are several different estimates for insulated and uninsulated, and then also all but one of these estimates does not include the modifications to the opening of the building. Most of those doors, the companies want the framework already there and in place before they will come out and install. So I don't have an estimate just for that work from any vendor. I do have the Spring Branch construction estimate that was provided to the mayor board, and that does include the modifications. And then at the bottom, they also included some additional scope of work. So I'm gonna let you know what that is, because it's basically, so that particular one would be to install and it includes the door also, the insulated 14 by 16 door, adding the manual chain hoist to not only that door, but also the south overhead door that's existing, enlarging the opening to fit the new door, cutting the concrete for new weather lip for the overhead door on the north, and then changing the locks, panic bars on the 3 walk-in doors to the new style, repairing the bottom of the west wall with provided metal, and then electric opener and wall switch, and adding an outlet for the electric opener. So that's what's outlined there in that additional scope, which is a separate line on the spreadsheet. So I just wanted you to have those numbers. I know you haven't finalized any agreement yet. So.
Be the opportunity to bring up the other.
Did you have any questions for Marcy about any of these estimates?
No,
Okay,
I mean, if we're gonna do anything, I said I would stay out of this one, but if we're gonna do anything turnkey, obviously, I'd be in favor of the Spring Branch. Somebody can do it all.
I think Spring Branch on their door gets a contractor's discount, which they can buy it cheaper than we can buy it individually if I'm not mistaken. I think there's members of the fair board that have had them do a lot of the work in the past and would be very most comfortable.
I guess we'll wait on it. Wait on it.
They have a time frame on when they can get that done.
I did not ask, I don't remember if I asked on the time frame.
You want me to contact them and ask that?
Cause I'm guessing if we approve them, we want them there as ASAP.
Okay.
Which one do you recommend, Marcy?
I have no dog in this fight. I would say go with somebody who is present, but yeah, I don't. There are three of them bid with sight unseen. Overhead door out of Wichita came out and actually looked at it, didn't charge us for coming out, nothing like that. So, I don't know if those would, if it would be different if they came out and took a look at what it actually looks like out there.
I do also want to note that you should not take any action on this until you've made a decision regarding a contract for the space.
Does that require an insulated door?
I don't see why it
And
would.
why?
I don't think the south one is. Maybe it is. I'm trying to remember, but
They just hold up better for 20 years.
Condensation would be the only reason. I think it's a couple $100 more is all.
yeah.
I think that it was, on the Spring Branch estimate, it was $600 extra to do the insulated door.
Anyway. All information to process. All right, next thing.
Then the only other thing that I believe I have was was my report.
Am I done?
Do you need Marcy for that?
Might be good if
Okay.
you do it.
You wanna do it?
Don't mind if you wanna do it, unless you wanna do it now.
You got stuff to do.
I always have stuff to do, but you're my bosses, so.
Josh is here and I'd like to get him in and out.
Might be, we also have an interview at 1.
Yeah. Josh, how much time do you need? Come on, let's get that done.
Make it quick.
Should I wait in the hall?
Probably Marcy, sorry.
Hi, did you send that to them? I gotta okay. What I sent you, the drawing here, that's the areas that they had sprayed last year, just showing that, what we had done and stuff, which is a lot more than I could get done by myself. My guys really got in and got it done, so. We do have the eradication report. Does anybody have any questions on that?
I just have one question at the bottom page of it. You indicate 23 warning notices.
Mhm.
2024, but I wanna look on the 4 individual species eradication progress reports. There's no warning notices identified. What were those warning notices for? And
Musk thistle, Johnson grass, and Cerisa.
it just kinda threw me when there's nothing in the specific field bindweed. Warning notices is 0.
Oh,
Johnson grass is 0.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
0.
They up,
Cerisa is 0.
yeah.
Then there's 23.
Yeah, that one, I know what you're talking about. I don't know, how to get to that part of it. They updated my program before I got to do any of this. So, really, they just wanna know how many warning notices that I'd sent out, on that. But, I can try to figure out how to get to where it does show what, which one it is that we're giving notices to,
Going forward.
so. But, anything else?
So this year you plan on hitting the areas that weren't hit last year?
We'll still get around the county and stuff.
Because Johnson grass is just a mess.
Yeah.
Almost every bridge has got it on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, the bridges have it.
And I gotta watch that, cause really for me to spray down by the bridges up to the water, I have to be another license. And I'm working on trying to get that other license to be able to spray closer to the waters and that. But the only way you can't kill it and get rid of it completely like I can in the ditches and stuff, because there's nothing that's aquatic safe for that. Alls I could do is spray Roundup. It's an aquatic Roundup around that stuff close to the ditches or the creeks and that, so.
Try to get it from seeding out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the only reason I say that is I get complaints from landowners that say, we're not spraying that stuff that's close to the bridge. Now it's out in our grass.
Yeah.
So
It's, Johnson grass is one of those, it's gonna spread no matter how I do it. Cause if I kill the top for the few days, okay, but it still grows underground. The rhizomes move underground too. We use plateau in the ditches, that gets the top and the bottom too.
and we've notified KDOT in the past that they're not taking care of it.
Yeah, the state's working with KDOT and some others, so we're trying to get better at, hopefully we can get them to do more.
You have enough thistles out in the state highway ditch? Yeah.
I do have that, if you guys can sign that, and, I'll get a copy and give it back to Tina, showing we signed it. So I can send that one off. The 2025 management plan, did anybody have any questions on that one?
Is it day 7?
I usually let. Yeah.
Do you need a motion to approve these?
I think they've made the motion to approve them, in the past, but, really, it's just, if you guys are fine with it and you sign it, and if you wanna make the approval, go for it.
I think it would be
Just-
most appropriate if you would make a motion to
Since you're
accept
signing
both of those reports.
Do the railroads ever get noticed from West Thistle? That's where some of the worst is.
Is it? They say, they have their own world, we can,
Well, I know.
I
I know they do. I'm just
never-
wondering if we shouldn't notice them just so we got it on file.
yeah, we can send them notice and that.
That way, if push comes to shove, we can say, right here, we sent it to you.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the annual noxious weed education progress report. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0.
Josh, I've got an address.
Make a motion to approve the 2025 management plan.
Second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We incur expense on that. They have a particular department that we send the bill to.
Yeah.
They generally just pay it.
Yeah.
Just like mowing. Some of the cities will just send a bill and they.
I think at one time Roland got them to actually spray that aerially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's been a long time ago.
I don't know if they do it anymore.
I know other counties are fighting with them too and stuff, and I'm just kind of waiting to hear from them, and it's before I've really gone into trying to get them. I know there's areas they got Johnson grass real bad, and if I can reach it with my sprayer, I'll hit it just to help the landowners out.
It's quicker if we do it than waiting for them typically. And then I was just concerned about taxpayers picking up that tab, so we started sending bills
Okay.
from all of them, so having some kind of notice to them is a good idea.
Okay. Which county had been doing that? So if I have,
The last one that I sent bills was for one of the cities, but it was in Dickinson.
okay. No, yeah, okay, I can at least give them a holler and find out where they sent the stuff to.
I can get it to you.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else?
No.
Tina, you just, right, the signature?
Yeah, I'll actually,
I'll run and grab copies for them and. Anything else? I'll just grab it from Mike so I don't have to travel back. Alright,
thanks, Josh.
thank you guys.
Take care.
Thank you, Mike.
So do you want to do the?
Yeah.
Will you do the contract negotiation next?
All right. I move that we recess into executive session in order to discuss contract negotiations pursuant to KSA 75-4319B, item number 2, for consultation with our attorney in matters deemed privileged under attorney-client privilege. With the board, Brad, Tina, Marcy, for 15 minutes until, let's see, 1:22. With open session to resume back in commission chamber following the closed session. Made by myself, second by all those in favor? Aye.
Okay, we're on.
Out of executive session, no decisions made. Okay. Pass this around, this was what we signed off on the bottom of that sheet earlier.
Payroll.
That's the official payroll. The official payroll change. Yeah. Early check.
Right.
Next one, 'cause we're not-
I'm so sorry. I wish I could zap it somehow.
Yeah.
Are you finished with that topic? Okay, so Marcy can go.
Thanks, Marcy.
See you, Marcy.
Thank you.
All right, I move that we recess into executive session in order to discuss or conduct employment interview pursuant to KSA 75-4319B for item number 1, personal matters and non-elected personnel with the board, Tina, and the applicant. For
Maybe start with 15 or 20?
20 minutes until 1:45 open session to resume back in commission chambers following the closed session. Get a second.
Second that.
Second by Dave. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0.
Okay.
Yep. Out of executive session, no decisions made.
I'm almost done.
Yeah. Cheat sheet. What have you got? We already did the contract negotiation for later.
You can read that first in your head and make sure it makes sense.
Alright. So I will make the motion to hire Kyle Birch as EMS director for Marion County and look at possibilities of KPNF in the future. Start date to be determined with the administrator.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. 5-0.
Congratulations.
Everybody.
Second.
Nice to meet you, Kyle.
Nice to meet you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I know, I saw it in here. Do you wanna do the other executive session now or wait till after the discussion for the building?
Do you have a preference?
Let me see if we have people waiting for us.
Okay. Having a hard time looking that way. Not staying on top of.
Yeah, Road and Bridge is here, so we'll put maybe, if you're okay with switching this.
I'll welcome it right now. Bob gives me a headache every time I turn.
Yes, Sarge,
No,
you wanna touch it?
I don't wanna have to sit down with Jerry with HR or something.
HR is pretty nice
Yeah, I know, but
sometimes.
Don't do it.
Nice of you to join us.
I might be able to pull that.
So I wanted to at least get on the agenda, the preliminary discussion of what you were, how to move forward with that property that you all purchased over by Peabody. And then, since Tom was gonna be here for that, I went ahead and had him, or he has an update about the semi truck
There we go.
as well.
Peabody shop first.
Maybe do the semi first and then we can have a
Okay.
longer discussion
Stan
about.
got the truck in. I went down and drove it this morning. Everything seemed to be, drove great, handled nice. Did have passenger's mirror shakes and vibrates, but they're going to repair that, it is loose. Other than that, it's got 395,000 miles on it.
That was last overhaul.
I don't know.
Haven't been
I
overhauled.
would hope not. I mean, I would think it's an 800,000
Yeah.
mile motor.
I just didn't know sometimes people don't know stuff. 'Cause
But no, it's from a large trucking company. I mean, it's got a maintenance program.
Okay.
Everything else, so. They trade there fairly often. I think he sold them 8 trucks, so.
What's the year, make and model?
What?
Year, make and model?
It's a.
Had to call him out.
Sorry.
Call him out. Put on them glasses.
Okay, it must be a 2020. It was built October of 19. And it's an international. I do believe they call it a Pro Star model. 455 horsepower Cummins. It's got a 12-speed auto shift transmission, air ride suspension.
And with that and the trailer, we're still coming in under budget?
What?
We're still coming in on or under budget?
Yeah, this truck's at 45,000.
Motion to move forward with the semi. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Do we ever make offers on those things? I mean,
It ain't gonna move, cause if we say no, it's gone. He's got a line waiting.
all right.
Is that what he told you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I took two of them and Deaton Ross took one, they're all.
Right.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0. That was supposed to be the short discussion.
What?
That was supposed to be the short discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why we did that first.
This one here. It was brought to my attention to maybe get an idea of what kind of a building we would like at the Peabody shop, the new facility. The building we have now downtown is,
Not what you'd like, but what you
Need.
need.
that's what I've got. The existing building we're using now is 40 by 50, that's enclosed, that's not counting the lean-to on the west side. After I had Dale measure that, and he measured his grader with the ripper on the back, plow on the front, he's like 43 foot long. So I kinda drew up a plan, come up with at least a 50 by 60. That would fit 2 motor graders to pick up a small office bathroom, kinda like what we got now, just a little bit bigger. That would give them room to pull one in, service it, storm, both of them park in there through the night. You know, if we wanted to add lean-tos onto that, you know, if the loader's down there loading out of a stockpile, if we want it under roof, I mean, we could probably add that on, but I'm looking at the bare minimum of 50 by 60.
60 long, 50 wide.
Right. 60 foot long, put the doors on the end. So maybe it would lower the building, still have a high door. Just an,
Move forward looking at what that looks like or dollars wise. Sometimes we can go 70 or an 80 and it's the
you
same
can go
money.
longer, cheaper than you can go wider.
It's the same money,
When you go wider, it's more,
but sometimes they
the
have
square footage adds on.
prepackaged
Right.
80 footers and that it'll be cheaper than a 60.
The length, adding length is cheaper than adding width. It's what I've known in the past.
So,
Right, but that's probably nothing smaller than that to accommodate what we
that's the minimum. Okay.
so.
Yeah, we ought to,
Need 3,000 square feet.
seek out budget.
Well, so the board, I guess, some things that we need to make sure that everybody is in agreement on, or you have a plan on moving forward is, you know, kind of what are you thinking about putting out there? What do you want that process to look like? Do you want to assign 1 or 2 commissioners to work like and make a building committee for that to include like Road and Bridge and EMS to be able to make sure that we're moving forward? You know, we need I just need an idea of what you want that process to look like, and then we can start getting information.
It's the biggest thing, probably, which building comes first, the EMS or the storage shed for the equipment.
Clock is ticking on the road and bridge. They're giving up theirs.
Yeah,
Yeah, they've only got a certain amount of time. And then we need to decide how big is that EMS building gonna be? Is that gonna be 2, 3 bay? Hillsboro's 3 bay. Do we need 3 bay or just 2?
No, we don't need the same size as Hillsborough.
That's what I was thinking.
And Chuck kind of has an idea on that too, but it would need, you know, the crew quarters, but it would be a smaller building than what Hillsborough has.
And then, do we attach them or not attach them?
I don't know, why would you attach them?
Okay.
unless it was cheaper.
I would say,
Right.
Well, it will be, that's the thing, but
What were you gonna
I
say?
mean, if there
I
was
would say
great
no.
cost savings, it might be worth looking at.
I wouldn't agree to that.
I was also just wondering, like,
I
if
would
there's,
I would have them spread out, so if we got stuff packed around doors out in front of it or something, we're not blocking somebody else's.
One of the big concerns for me is what do we do for the road to get there, since we're almost half mile off the blacktop to get to the.
we know some guys. We know some guys.
But I mean, what, I mean, that'd be a
Make a
big
road.
expense if we would go to an asphalt road to get there, to keep the ambulance clean. That type of thing is a concern with everybody, is we don't wanna drive it down a sloppy gravel road.
We would need to have those considerations of what road improvements we would need. That'd be part of the process that the committee would look at, and also the amount of dollars that
How
would.
soon we would start on getting the road ready to move the roof.
so.
The only thing that I was wondering is if we are doing separate projects, would there be any savings in the contractor bidding on both projects as a package? So we could do the RFP if you want to for to bid them separately, and then also to indicate if there would be a savings for doing them at the same time.
Typically you can out of mobilization,
Right,
especially with dirt contractors.
right. So there would be some things that would probably be more efficient and less expensive to try to do it as one package instead of dividing it up with one first and then the other one.
I'm good with that. And, you were on the building committee last. And Clark, didn't you get thrown on there at the end?
No,
Is that something you would be willing to do?
Yeah.
You still willing to stay on that
yeah,
and work with Tina and Road and Bridge? And,
how many acres,
Ambulance,
yeah, ambulance.
how many acres is it?
it's just under 5, I think, 4 point. I'll have to look and, I haven't even seen that the survey has been filed. I know we had a survey,
What stakes out there?
but Steve,
It's more than
I had a
five.
question about the acreage out there.
It's more than 5.
Okay.
I'll have to look at the,
I think it was 4.9. So,
There's stakes with red flags on out there. On four
are
corners.
you concerned about if it's 5 acres?
No,
Okay.
no, I was told.
It was just-
I was like,
Oh, no.
holy mackerel.
Hey, while you're here,
You gonna farm out some of it or what?
it's not that large. While you're here, are we using the 10 acres out by the Poor Farm Cemetery for anything?
Not right at this time, no.
Have we before?
There was plans of them putting in some kind of asphalt recycling plant there, and it never generated anything.
Yeah, I knew there had been talk about it, and I thought that maybe there was even some clearing happening at one time, but I didn't remember if
Several
it.
years ago.
Right, so it's just sitting,
It's just sitting, yes.
and no plans in the upcoming future? Okay, so there's that answer.
We need to study that too then.
For, to see about selling or to see about using for another purpose?
both.
If Road and Bridge can't use it out where it's at, I'm not sure that there's gonna be very many more purposes for it. Unless somebody else has got an idea. I mean, that was always Road and Bridge. It's on a gravel road.
It was the hot mix plant years and years ago.
Okay.
Yes, there's one little concrete building out there on it. That's the only structure, isn't it?
Yep.
Somebody said they put dynamite in it. I don't know.
That's what I was told.
Marcy would be losing her mind right now. Let's go on.
Okay,
It used to have some trees on, but I don't, did the trees get cleared off?
Yes.
I think the trees all got cleared off.
that's what I was asking.
They even think they rented it out for a guy to store hay there one time, years ago. I think they burnt.
So we have kind of a path forward as far as at least where to begin.
Directive and a couple of commissioners for building
Work with
committee.
Road and Bridge and EMS.
Developing a plan and
Where
what does it
place
look
the
like?
buildings at?
I haven't even seen the location yet, so I don't.
Okay,
Field trip.
yes. We'll probably
Yeah,
have
whenever
a few-
you guys are ready to sit down and see plans or something, let me know.
Yeah, we'll probably have some, we'll have to see when everyone's available and have some initial kind of brainstorming and information gathering, and then we can go ahead.
Only question I had was if we were doing that mile through Canada, are we digging any of that up that would make some base for that project down there? If we hauled it there as they dug it up.
It all depends on what the,
Contractor.
would be, with the contractors. Or what the engineering plans come out. You might wanna use the material that's already there since we've already done it once.
I'm just saying if they dug it up like some of the other projects, once we had it in the truck, it'd make probably good base material for that project if it turned out that way.
Yeah, it all depends on the compaction.
Yeah.
All right. That's out there.
Okay.
Alright, anything else? Thank you.
But you told me to start approving those, and so that was just in there for your information.
Sure I didn't skip a step somewhere.
Thanks for asking, 'cause
Alright. So I move that we recess into executive session in order to discuss employee performance pursuant to KSA 75-4319B1, item 1, for personnel matters of non-elected personnel with the board and Tina for 15?
yeah, 15 would be good, and if you wanna include Brad in that, it might be good.
And Brad? Okay, I'll include Brad. 15 minutes till 2:18 with open session resumed back in commission chambers following the closed session. Second. Second by Clark. All those in favor? Aye. 0.
Where's that at?
Alright. Out of executive session, no decisions made. I think that's everything. Oh, was there a laptop to approve? For county attorney?
That's already done, that was just information.
Okay. Just, sorry, just double checking all that's
well,
in there.
Okay, actually, I believe I already gave her the go-ahead to get those.
Okay,
I just wanted to make sure that you were all aware of it.
yep, very good. Okay.
The way that memo was worded, I didn't actually give you additional information on that, but that is already.
Okay, very good.
Did you have anything else on yours?
Just that resolution, it doesn't have to be tonight, but it's a representative one of what
Over you. I can put this in the packet for next time
Yes.
since. things are slow.
make sure there's a hard copy.
Well, I think the idea is that they don't wanna approve it if they haven't had a chance to read it
To look
or
at it in
if it
advance.
wasn't in the packet, so. But you can definitely explain it.
Mhm. That's what I was gonna do, just as that's why it's marked as a draft. We're gonna get a number of these related to, and this one is specifically relating to our, the townships. Bonding requirements are something that we really do have in place, and it's statutorily required of any of the budgeted types of activity within the county, and we have a number of different entities that actually are able to produce a budget. One of the most common ones being the townships. the question then came up, well, we haven't been giving you a bond and haven't been doing it, do we have to? They're not very expensive, and in these cases like $100, but it covers the total amount of their budget in theory for a particular budgeted year. So that if the treasurer makes some mistake or there's some issue or something, it protects the taxpayers in terms of anything that's been collected. And that's in Chapter 80, and it's a requirement that they present that in essence is governed by you, saying, yes, you will produce one, and yes, it will be in a specified amount. And what do you do with it when you do it, et cetera. So the basic parameters of what happens with the bond is to occur in that case. We have not really been receiving those. As to Townships 8203 governs and specifically says townships, if they produce a budget, we have some that don't, but others that do, they are to bond in a sufficient amount as set by the county commission to cover the performance of the treasurer and the job. That's what this lays out, is just basically follows the statutory requirement. So as they budget for this next year, they have the knowledge that you need to get a bond. There's plenty of places from which to go ahead and procure that type of a bond. So it's not a complex issue. It's something that we need in place. In talking with Ashley and Tina initially about it, determined that we would just do it as 100 cents on the dollar, or 100% of whatever their next year's budget would be. Produce that, have the bond in place, and give a copy of it to Ashley within at least 30 days prior to the beginning of that budget year, which is calendar year.
Is this similar to what we're having to do with the fire districts?
Yeah.
So the townships, some of them do already have a bond, but they have not been filing with the county clerk.
And we need to have those on file. I don't know that it's ever been an issue, and no one's ever called us.
Formality at this point.
Yeah. And since there are other entities that also have budgets, I kept these somewhat separate, just because the township has an express statute on it, so.
Could be a line item.
Yeah. So that's more informational than anything, but I wanted to alert you to it and why we were doing it. Yes, next agenda.
Very good. Anything else?
Can we provide to the townships just kind of a cheat sheet, where to go, how to do this? I mean, I know a lot of the people that are on township boards are volunteers.
They do it as a favor, and then they go, hey, if I gotta do a lot of work on this, I don't wanna do it.
Exactly, we need to make it, we talk about unfunded mandates, and we need to make this as easy for the townships to comply with it as we can.
You already got it. Alright. Good enough. Alright. Anything else? Any commission comments?
Pray for the people where it's flooding and all the tornadoes. That's pretty devastating if you look at some of the pictures. Some of that's gonna be dealt with for weeks on end yet.
Look at all the warnings and stuff for the last 18 days. Part of the country is.
Some of that flooding and it's gonna continue to rise. The next several days. Recesses. Pretty disruptive to them people. That's a whole lot of people.
Any others? Motion to adjourn. Second. Second by Kent. All those in favor? Aye. 5-0.